News across America. Workers at many fast food restaurants are serving up some frustration. They are upset with this dollar amount right here, $7.25. This is the current minimum wage rate. But this is what those workers say they should be making, and they took to the streets today to make their case. They want to make $15 an hour. Power! 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 It appears the protest worked because, as Fox's David Lee Miller shows us, the president is responding to their concerns by promising change.
Many of the protests starting in the pre-dawn hours, taking place at fast food restaurants across the country. They're calling for improving working conditions and wages, saying they want a $15 salary up from $7.25 an hour as it stands now. Demonstrators taking to the streets in dozens of cities, more than 100 workers picketing outside 2 Detroit McDonald's restaurants. Employees at this McDonald's in Wilmington, Delaware, say their wages are simply too low to make ends meet.
I make $8.25, but I still can't survive on it.
I will be able to provide for my daughter. I'll be able to provide for my wife. I'll be able to put food on the table. I'll be able to pay my bills without worrying if they're going to send a letter in the mail.
Full-time at the federal minimum wage means employees would make around $15,000 a year. In a speech Wednesday, the president suggested that addressing income inequality would be a focus of his remaining 3 years in office.
I believe this is the defining challenge of our time, making sure our economy works for every working American.
The restaurant industry says that sharply higher wages would lead to steeper prices for customers and fewer opportunities for jobs.
You can't just translate your need for more money onto every business and say, you know, I've got 3 kids to feed, so you need to pay me more. That's not how the compensation system works in this country.
Many of the restaurant chains with striking workers say it's up to local franchises to determine worker wages. In Lower Manhattan, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
Workers here in Nashville also took part in that protest. More than 24 demonstrated outside a McDonald's restaurant in West End today. They say it's tough to make ends meet, making only $7.25 an hour. Many say the job is more complex than most people think, and dealing with the public, they say, is not easy.